Hello, and welcome to TK's first Q&A. Well, the only reason why I'm doing this is because, well, my internet is dead. So, you just get to hear me talking for the next 5 minutes and bouncing around on two huge knockers. The main reason why I think my computer is dead is because it's not because I'm like illegally downloading music or trying to get some like fancy computerware to work on it, or downloading porn if you want to think that, because all the porn sites I go to are pretty clean. Anyway, I think it's because I've been trying to download a DS emulator, and I downloaded it from a bad site, and it gave it probably a virus, and now I can't get on my internet. But it doesn't really matter because, I mean, this is the period where I don't see anybody updating because, well, it's the end of the summer, and people want to live out their summer before they go off and do whatever. Like me, perhaps, because in about 10 days, actually, I'll leave this 10 days information at the end of the video. See, I'm keeping you curious. So you guys can listen to the first less than 30 questions that I got on this video. Originally, I wanted to do like a big clip show and stuff, but you know, it's not happening because I got a lot of crap to do. Anyway, you could just see me jump around. I don't know. I can't just say like, let's just start off with the first question. So I'll treat it more like I'll say the name first, say what type of question it is, and answer it as best as I can possible because I don't even know how much time I got. And I think I already wasted 2 minutes just having this introduction. But anyway, let's get started. Hello Bovine asks, what is the worst game you've ever owned? And I will tell him I think the worst game I've ever owned, personally, and this is personally, not feeling like any like hatred towards me, I think it's Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door. Seriously, I could not get in that game. I love the first Paper Mario, but it wasn't that fun. It was like a game that like you play after you like never played the first Paper Mario because the rules felt like they changed. They added so much to the battle that I really couldn't even get into it. Can you guys notice that like one shape is bigger than the other? Anyway, that's like I really didn't like the game, but whenever I see other people play it, I'm always thinking maybe I should go back and buy Paper Mario and buy it again and play it again. But I guess I don't really have the money because I don't feel like just like going off and throwing my cash at a game that I previously owned. I bought it like 1 week and then like I sold it the next. I really didn't like that game. But the new Super Paper Mario, I never played it. It looks fun, but I hear a lot of mixed things about it because it's not an RPG. Oh well. Let me jump on the other side, boob. Okay. Red Sickness. Steve was better. Joe is a noob. My questions are you black? You really sound like you are. Ha! You know, I know like I probably say this a lot in my videos. I don't mean to I try to keep myself sounding cultured. I don't want to sound like I'm a conceited black person who pretty much says, you know, what the fuck? Black person? What am I? White? It's just, there's this funny thing about that. You know, when you watch the news, you might think white people just be sitting at home. Look at those African Americans on TV messing up and shit. No, they sit on their couch and they be all like, look at that nigga on TV doing all that shit, breaking everything, always getting arrested. But, you know, I try not to like tell everybody that I'm like black over the internet because, well, I don't want to have negative connotations, even though there's really nothing wrong with it if there is, you jackasses. But yes, I am black. Turtle Kermit is freaking black. I'm so freaking black that I celebrate Kwanzaa. What the fuck? I like the holiday, but seriously, who celebrates that? In Futurama, like, they had this little joke about, like, does anybody even know what what Kwanzaa is? Let me just see if I can snuggle right in between there. Anyway, yes. I am African American. If you guys are offended, which I don't really even care if you're offended, damn it. I don't really want to just sit on this, but yeah. You guys know my race now. If you're gonna unsubscribe, then go. I don't need you anyway. Bitch, it's my house. Anyway, Kong K4, or no, it's just Kong. Yes, Kong K4 asked, what game you thought was gonna suck but really didn't? I thought No More Heroes was gonna suck because like No More Heroes was basically about a guy with a damn lightsaber, and I was all like, that has to be like the stupidest game in the fucking universe. Because in my platoon, yes, I was in the military before. I'm glad that nobody really asked me any questions about that. But there was a guy who really believed in Jediism. Basically, like, he had like the order, and all it pretty much meant was to give goodwill. It was his religion, and I thought it was so cool. But he was talking about like No More Heroes and crap, and I was like, man, that game's gonna suck. And then like I come home and I play it, and I'm all like, oh my gosh, this game is awesome. And it's just because like you can just run around and beat people up with it. Like I wish I could like beat people with like the guitar that I like have in like these little clips that I make. But like I think like it's cooler to beat somebody with a lightsaber because I mean that's like the coolest weapon in the world. And yes, Him Hamster asks, how much do you weigh? I weigh 130 pounds. Next question. Seriously, I don't really like to tell people about my weight because I'm very feminine about my weight. I want to keep my girlish figure slim. No. The point is that in reality I'm like only 5'5", so yeah, I think I'm probably considered short. I don't really want to gain a lot of weight because, I mean, people are all like, oh, you shouldn't eat so much, you're going to get fat. And I'm like, why? I'm like only like 19. I'm not going to gain any weight. Well, you're going to gain weight when you get older. And I'm all like, hey, guess what? I'm still young. And you know what? If age is going to like do that to me, then let it. I'm not going to fight it. Anyway, The Lonely Warrior 1 ask, why did you choose the theme of your video questions to be motherfucking Blues Clues? Why? Well, there's something interesting about that. The mail time thing, I watched Blues Clues when I was a kid. I didn't even, it was like a bitch to find that little clip anyway. But basically, the clip that I found, I used to have that as a cell phone ringer. Like when I was like a sophomore in high school. And basically whenever I got a text message, it would play mail time, mail time, mail time. Everybody in the class would be looking at me like, what the fuck? And I'll be all like, bitch, it's my ringtone. And yeah, I like it. So if you got a problem with that, I don't give a shit. And anyway, Blues Clues, it really has gone downhill. I mean, like, they started making Blue like have, I don't know, Blue have, what is that? A real show for herself, and it's not even about Steve. And despite like all like this negative attention Steve is attracted, Steve left the show to pursue a music career, and they had to replace it with Joe. And they like said he was going to college just to make his like leave off seem more important, but really he left off the show. He didn't commit suicide. He didn't overdose. It just not like he just left. He wanted to do other things, and that's what actors do. And anyway, he had a lot of fame. You should see all the hot mommies that wanted to get on him for entertaining their kid. So I wouldn't have left. Anyway, what's your favorite TV show? Ask XXX Meninko X 1989. I can presume that is when you were born. 80s baby. Then again, I'm a 90s baby. I was born at the jack start of the 90s. But anyway, my favorite TV show. Shit. I mean, damn. Like, I don't really have a favorite TV show. I could say, like, what's my favorite anime. And because that's really what I watched when I grew up. I watched Toonami. Like, I wish this was a lot, like, more clear, but, like, if I had to choose, like, one television show to watch over and over again, that would be Ranma One Half. And if you haven't heard of it, it's a series about a guy that turns into a girl, and he was cursed that way, and he's trying to get back to China, but like all this shit keeps happening, women and men trying to get up on him, and he has like the biggest bitch of a fucking fiance, and her name is Akane, and she is played by like the greatest actress of all fucking time. I swear to God, she makes that girl come to life. And this is back in the '90s, so voice acting in anime was like not that important. Wow, I'm like actually doing a really good job sliding in and out. What does this look like? Anyway, let's move on to something else. 01ZII Pang asks, do you prefer emulator or the system, and what do you usually prefer? I prefer emulation because I can use save states, and like I can always just trade over like my save states and like put it on my email and just like open it up like whenever I just like want to re-download the games that I want to play on my computer. That's what I did with Pokemon Trading Card Game when I didn't have my computer at the time. And yes, I use emulations. I'm sorry, I don't have a capture card. I should get a capture card though, because I mean I'm running out of games to really do. Because when I can't get an emulator to work, I gotta download some other emulators. And then we get to where we are right now, and that's having computer issues. So, damn. Anyway, yeah, I prefer emulations. Anyway, here's a big question. Geeky5 asks, who wants to be a Oh, it's like a contest. Who wants to be a billion cajillionaire? Turtle Kermit, with no lifelines, for $1,000, what is your favorite color? Purple. For $100,000, who's your favorite few Pokemon? No, not Dialga. Shit. Spinda, because like Spinda, he can have all these different forms. I remember like I made like this pack to catch him in Ruby, to catch every single one, but I never could. Anyway, for $1 million, Turtle Kermit, who is the sexiest famous person that you would date? I would date fucking Jessica Alba. Oh my gosh, I would throw her over the bed and just go beast mode on, just like throw her. I'd give her a massage while I'm just like grinding it from the back. It would just be amazing, and just yes, it would be Jessica freaking Alba. I'm sorry. And then Christina Ricci, she can come in. She can come in too. It'll be a nice threesome. Anyway, let's continue. And now, finally, for $1 billion cajillion, Turtle Kermit, if you were able to win all this money, what would you do with it all? I would store it in my bank in every little cracks of my wall, and I would never spend it because I believe the stock market would crash. Seriously, like I'm kind of like that's what Rocky did with his money, or according to like the movies or whatever. He pretty much hid all of his money because he was like born like around the time his parents were born, around the time the stock market crashed, and he had to get a job, and he became a boxer, and like he never spent his money. He just hid it in his walls, put it in his car, and that's what pretty much I would do. I would hide my money because I mean like if somebody steals my credit card and shit, like sometimes I think banks really don't give a shit as long as they're getting some money out of you. They don't give a shit about you, even if you're rich, and they'll do their best to make you go broke. And that's true for a lot of famous people. Anyway, here's another long one, and these are the questions I'm actually liking.